Anyway, YouTube subscribers, MCK channel, how y'all doing? We back. Know what I'm saying? It's the property right here. You know what I mean? Flexing a bit. You know what I mean? Let the streets know what you got. The Nicholas streets. Check it. Best property in the game. 150 acres. What you know about that? Alright. Enough flexing. Let's get to it. So, yeah, I was told by one of my subscribers, you know, homie, a family, brother from another mother, you know, from the squad, you know what I'm saying? Alex Sanchez, A. Sanchito, Alejandro Sanchez, he told me from my last video about getting suspended from for 10 days from the suspension that I had in high school. I mentioned briefly in the video about how, oh shit, all good, biggest jump I ever took. Flex him again. All right, whatever. Okay, so yeah, he commented on the last video about, you know, I mentioned briefly about how I lost my virginity, right? I was going to go into detail about that. It was pretty eventful. You know what I mean? So shout out to Alejandro Sanchez, A. Sanchito. You know what I mean? That's the family right there. It's the family right there. So, you know, I promised I'd go into full detail about how I lost my virginity. You know, I'll hold nothing back. You know? And, you know, there's a lot of shit that went on, so I'm gonna go with the video about it. Know what I'm saying? So the squad, the family, this is for you. Alright? Okay, we back at it. So, yeah, what happened is, okay, let's start from the beginning. So at the time, you know, so high school, 2016, you know, like, it was around May 2016, you know, I was trying to get laid, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been trying to get laid for a while at that point, like about a year and a half, you know? I had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dates with women from online across the Sacramento area at that point. You know what I mean? First one where I got my first kiss was from Cameron Park. Second one, she actually came up to me when we were Yuba College. Gave me your number, right? That was crazy, and pretty flattering, must say. And she was fine. She was fine too. We fell out, but whatever. It's all good. The third one, girl I met through Instagram. She was from Lincoln. The fourth one, girl I met through OkCupid. She was from Antelope. And the fifth one, that was probably my worst. I drove all the way to Ione. If you know where that is, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. I mean, I was, you know, pretty desperate at that time. But I mean, you know, I have no problems with any of those women. I mean, I could have had a relationship with one of them. Probably the girl I had my first kiss with would have been the best. Because that should have changed my life. I got my first kiss. I mean, technically my first kiss was when I was like 10 years old. But, I mean, it was more like we did, you know, little kinky things. I mean, not like sex, but, you know, little things like that, but not like, we didn't really kiss or make out, you know. Anyway. Yeah. So I never really counted that. But whatever. That's how humble I am, you know? I'm not even going to count back what I did in 4th grade. It doesn't even matter. I'm going to count what I did when I was 18. So anyway, yeah. What led up to this point? Oh, 5-0. 5-0, 5-0, 50. All right. Yeah, what led up to this point, you know, I had a few dates under my belt. You know, I had some experience, but none with sex, so I was still a virgin. You know, and I was just trying to get laid, you know what I mean? Homies knew. I was trying to get laid. I had a couple girls I was talking to through Instagram that were really far away, so I mean, do those really count? I don't know. But it was going pretty slow, you know. I wanted to meet up with them, so I thought they were much better looking, in my opinion, but you know, it just didn't really work, because it's just like, oh, they're too far away, and they just we tried to hang out, tried to, you know, organize some, it just didn't pop. Anyway, and then so my homie Manny P, Apex Predator, he had these girls he was talking to. I don't know how he got connected with them, but come on, Mary, let's go. Come on, Mary. All right. So I don't know how he got connected with them, but he told me that when he posted a snap, some on his Snapchat, you know, about me, he said like, yo, one of the girls that, you know, texted me and thought you were cute. You know what I'm saying? Her name was Maddie. So I'm like, okay, well, tell her to hit me up. So then we started talking, you know, hitting each other up. And mostly it was just kind of about talking about stuff, random stuff. And then we tried to, you know, hang out, and it turns out she didn't have her first kiss. So, you know, I wanted to help her out with that. Of course, you know, me being a gentleman. Gangster and a gentleman. No, I'm just playing. But, you know, a gentleman, I wanted to help her out with her first kiss, and maybe in return, virginity, too. But anyway, yeah, we tried to hang out, but, I don't know, she was just kind of nervous about wanting to hang out because, you know, she's just shy, she was just afraid, she's inexperienced. And, you know, it took a long time of trying, and I also wanted to, you know, fuck as well. But she was like, oh no, we have to wait a couple times of hanging out. We gotta hang out more in order to do that. So, okay, we just kept talking. Hopefully doing that would increase my chances. And then we actually began seeing each other. Manny, her, and then her stepsister. And we all hang out, and I mean, whenever we hang out, they would never have anything planned. They would just want to drive here and there and there. I ended up driving like freaking 150 miles doing nothing the whole freaking day. And then we drive out to like Calusa for some reason, and they're like, "What? You're supposed to bring me home?" I'm like, "What? Bring you home? You should have said something." Like, they were just so confusing. They wouldn't plan nothing. Ugh, man. I mean, shit, I hope they're not like that now. I don't got no problems with them now. I mean, it was so long ago. They were just annoying. Whatever. But, yeah. And one time, we organized some where I was getting this close to kissing. But since she was like, oh no, I'm too afraid. Yeah, I'm too afraid of that. Like, and then, you know, we tried some other times, and she was just like, oh, I didn't know that you wanted me to. And it, you know, it was just all like that. And, you know, didn't know you wanted me to. I'm too afraid. Whatever. So it just went nowhere. So we stopped talking. Basically. And then her friend, not her friend, stepsister. How they're stepsisters is a long story. Not really important anyway. But, yeah. she had a boyfriend, you know. I mean, it was online boyfriend in the military, so it doesn't, I don't know if that really counts. They never even met. That's like saying I'm going to call the girls that I met through OkCupid and Instagram my girlfriend, just because, you know, we went on one date and we kissed and made out. You know, it's not a relationship, is it? No. Just one date. A good date, for the most part. But, no, it's not a relationship. Anyway. So, I never tried to holler at her or nothing. You know, because I'm not going to do that. She got a boyfriend, you know. It's not what I do. So, but one thing led to another, and surprisingly, she asked me, like, not asked me, but asked my, you know, my friend Apex Predator, Manny P, tell Keanu I want to give him pussy. And I'm like, really? Doesn't she have a boyfriend? And, you know, and he said, like, nah, she doesn't care. So I'm like, okay, I'll hit her up then. And I told her that, and she's like, yeah, that's true. I'm kind of nervous, you know, about doing this. And, you know, we did talk a couple times before that, and it was all good. And she was like, yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I don't, like, I'm inexperienced at this. And I think she told me she did some, like, foreplay before, but other than that, she's pretty much, like, squeaky clean. I believe it, you know, when we had sex, she was a little inexperienced in some areas. But hey, all good. It was actually a pretty good experience in the moment. But anyway, yeah, one thing led to another. We all went to Galleria at Roseville, and then we planned to have me and her, you know, do the things, you know, that day. So I came up with a spot where we would go. It was in my car, because that was the only option. I'm not gonna bring him to my house, although that probably would have been better, you know, safer by the law. But you know, I don't think you're supposed to have sex in your car. But we know we did it. Whatever. Like, you know, it's teenagers do it. You know, it's like not that big a deal. Anyway, yeah, I came up with a spot where we should go, and I knew I wasn't feeling it that day. I knew I wasn't feeling like having sex that day, because that morning TMI, I know, but I jerked off that morning. I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling like having sex, because I didn't know we were going to do it. So I kind of knew before that I didn't feel like having sex, but I'm like, hey, I'll be fine. I can get myself up. She's attractive, you know, no problem. But yeah. So we actually decided to do it, and at first, before we were gonna do it, she was kind of like, "Oh, I'm gonna be such a slut." I'm like, "No, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter." And she's like, ugh. And then we made out, you know, and basically, you know what happened from there. You know, got naked, whatever. And actually, what was weird, you know, couldn't get hard, because I knew I wasn't in the mood to have sex that day. You know what I mean? And I was also, you know, it was my first time, you know. I'm used to jerking off and looking at porn, you know, since I was 14. So it's kind of like having sex is just, you know, sometimes things like that are life-changing happen when you least expect it. And needless to say, I just wasn't prepared that day. You know, I had a hard time getting hard and all of that. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. It happens, right? You know, it's a first time, you know. And it happens when you least expect it. Sometimes you're not prepared, you know, big deal. It's not something that really bothers me now. I don't care. But, yeah, back then, I mean, it was a problem, you know. And then and then we just tried some things, like, see if it'll work out. And I just ended up eating her out. And it was, hey, it's pretty good, though. I enjoyed it, and she enjoyed it. So it was kind of like the best, worst day of my life. You know, because of that, and also best because I experienced the good things. So then the second time, I might have to make 2 parts of this video, because I think it's getting to the limit. Then the second time, hold on.